It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This episode is brought to you by HP. Whenever you do your best thinking, the HP Spectre X360 is ready when inspiration strikes. With power save for battery life and focus mode to multitask, you can do your best thinking whenever and wherever it happens. The HP Spectre X360 2-in-1 convertible PC with Windows 10 saves battery life for whenever an idea hits you. HP Spectre X360, a more thoughtful laptop.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Lions players reporting to training camp. The entire roster should be there by later today, and then the first day of training camp starts tomorrow. Matt Derry with you on Locked On Lions. Welcome in, everybody, on the Locked On Podcast Network on this Tuesday, July 27th, into Wednesday, July 28th. We are here. It is happening. Indeed, the Lions all making their way into Allen Park, whether it's rookies, whether it's quarterbacks, whether it's veterans. Everybody should be there for the start of training camp tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, 8:30. Dan Campbell will meet with the media in the morning before practice for his first press conference leading into training camp. And we're brought to you by our friends today at Rock Auto. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Visit rockauto.com and tell them Locked On sent you. On the pod today, major news out of Las Vegas, folks. Our friends at betonline.ag have moved the Lions win total. What's going on? I'll explain coming up momentarily. Also, start of camp, what that means for the Lions, how many roster spots are available. Somebody has been thrown on the reserve retired list. We'll tell you about that. Also, we forgot to give you our top two players that could be first-time Pro Bowlers on this team this year. We'll get to player number 2 on our list today here on Locked On Lions on the Locked On Podcast Network. We thank you for listening. If you find us on Twitter, you can, at Derry Speaks, D-E-R-Y Speaks, at Locked On Lions. Follow the Locked On Lions page on Twitter and also the Matt Derry Facebook fan page. All right, what's going on in Vegas? This is where I kind of want to start today on this Tuesday on Team Reporting Day. All right, the Detroit Lions since January, whether it's betonline.ag, our good friends and our sponsors, or any of the sponsors, or any of the, Vegas odds makers, have had it since January for 2021 that the Detroit Lions win total, the over-under, whether it was 16 games or now 17 games, the Lions win total sat at 5. Vegas thought 5-11. Vegas thought 5-12 as they changed the schedule, added the Broncos as a road game and made it 17 games. But it always stayed January, February, March, April, May, June, most of July at 5. Over under to win 5 games for the Lions. You like the over, you like the under, regardless. The Lions had the lowest win total of any team out there. Only lower, Houston Texans, an over-under of 4. Today, a friend of mine, my buddy Al, hits me up. He texts me, he says, check it out. BetOnline.ag. Things have changed. I went, uh-oh. Go to my favorite site here, BetOnline.ag, a proud sponsor of the Locked On Podcast Network. And there it is. The Lions win total has moved from 5 down to 4.5 today. Why is that? Well, it's pretty simple, I think. Aaron Rodgers is officially back with the Packers. He reported to Packers training camp today. He walked into Packers training camp in an Office t-shirt. Dunder Mifflin, the whole thing. He had some Brett the Hitman Hart sunglasses on. And it's official. Aaron Rodgers is going back to play, I believe it's his 17th season with the Packers. So now that A-Rod, as they call him in Green Bay, is officially back, it bumped the Lions win total, because remember, the Lions have to see the Packers twice, down from 5 to 4.5 wins. All, I think, because of Rodgers. It has to be. There was some question whether or not he would play. Remember our buddy Rob Demovsky, who covers the Packers for ESPN at ESPN.com, said months ago, it's a 10% chance he's ever going to play again for the Packers. He's going to play somewhere else. He's going to demand a trade. And Rodgers, he badmouthed the franchise. He said all these things about the front office. But in the end, he showed up today. And the minute he shows up, the Lion win total goes down from 5 to 4.5. Wow. So you look at that Lions schedule. I said this yesterday. It's daunting. First game, you're going to have to go up against Armstead, Nick Bosa, and the Niners. Then you're going to have to play Rodgers on Monday Night Football in Week 2. You're not facing Jordan Love. All right? You're facing Aaron Rodgers. And so, schedule's tough. AFC North, NFC West, Rodgers twice, locked in, unless, of course, he gets injured. But would you take the Lions over 4.5 wins or under 4.5 wins? Plus 110 for under 4.5 wins, minus 140 for over 4.5 wins. So many believe that this is going to be a bad team. And Vegas has even moved the line at betonline.ag down from 5 to 4.5. Me personally, I would take the over. I'd bet $100 in I'd bet 140 to win 100. I truly believe the Lions are better than a 4.5 win team. Do I think they're anything a lot better than that? No. It's no lock. I think Dan Campbell and his staff are going to do a decent enough job that this team will win more than 4.5 games. 5-12, 6-11. That's probably the max and the range. Don't think they're going to be as bad as I thought they were going to be months ago, where I said this could be a 2-win football team or 3-win football team. Now, again, all bets are off if Goff gets hurt or it's a disastrous year from an injury perspective. But I think with buy-in, with improved defense, with an offensive line that's kind of on the move and playing well, I think I would take the over. Is it a lock? No. By no stretch of the imagination. All right, what to expect here with camp opening and who will not be there? And also, what about that Pro Bowl list? We're going to continue with player number 2, and we'll do that coming up next. First, I mentioned before about a Bet Online. They're the best. You go right to that site at betonline.ag. Click on football, NFL team wins, odds, everything is all there for you at betonline.ag. It's the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your sports action. They are the best. Baseball season in full swing. You can track all the action at BetOnline. Want to put some money down on the Tigers tonight to snap this all-of-a-sudden 4-game losing streak? Boy, last night's game was pitiful against the Twins. Minnesota was brutal. They didn't want the game. They handed it to the Tigers, and the Tigers said, here, we'll give it back to you. Regardless, you want to bet on the game tonight, watch it, and have a rooting interest, and more of a rooting interest with some money, you can do that at betonline.ag. All you got to do is head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON. That's promo code LOCKEDON. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts.
A big trade shakes up the NBA draft. Here's what our local experts are locked on today. Let's start in college football, where reports are that the SEC will meet on Thursday to discuss adding the Oklahoma Sooners and Texas Longhorns. Today on Locked On Sooners, USA Today's John Williams takes you inside the meetings that Oklahoma had with their current conference, the Big 12. The Green Bay Packers continue to try and persuade Aaron Rodgers to return to the team, reportedly coming to terms on a number of concessions meant to entice the reigning NFL MVP. Our local expert in Green Bay, Peter Bukowski, has that and the latest on talks with star wide receiver Davante Adams. The Memphis Grizzlies have moved up in the NBA draft, acquiring the 10th overall pick from the New Orleans Pelicans. For more details on the deal, listen to our local expert in Memphis, Sean Coleman, on today's Locked On Grizzlies podcast. And for full live coverage of the NBA draft, subscribe to the Locked On NBA YouTube channel and tune in to Locked On NBA Draft 2021 on July 29th. Local experts on the biggest stories. It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, folks, training camp opening up on Wednesday. Lions will have a morning practice in Allen Park. Dan Campbell will speak before that. As far as something that we've talked a lot about the last couple of weeks was the top 5 list of players that I believe, and we do this every year on this podcast, and I started doing this show in 2016, and props to David Locke and everybody that started this network, and thank you, David, for continuing to have me. This will be my 6th season covering the team on this network. I don't cover the team as a reporter. All right, I'm not somebody that is at camp every day and a reporter. I entertain you with a podcast. I bring you insight, opinions, and I talk to enough people that I think I'm pretty viable. But the last few years, we've done a countdown of the 5 players we think could be first-time Pro Bowlers with the Lions. We do it every year. This year, of course, the list is exempt with some guys. Jamie Collins has been a Pro Bowler before, albeit with the Patriots. Jared Goff has been a Pro Bowler before, albeit with the Rams. T.J. Hawkinson was a Pro Bowler last year with the Lions, and so was the great Frank Ragnow. Other than that, everybody else is eligible. We told you about Penei Sewell being the player I think has the 5th best chance to be a first-time Pro Bowler. Then we went to Trey Flowers at number 4. Number 3, Romeo Okwara. 10-sack season a year ago, got paid. Can really have a breakout type year even this year and even be better, especially with the improvements on defense and the addition of Aaron Glenn as D coordinator, etc. No longer having to see the Corey Unlands, Paul Pasqualonis, shout out to Coach P, prior to Syracuse, and Matt Patricia's running that awful bend, don't break, but usually did break defense. Number 2 on my list of players that could be first-time Pro Bowlers is Taylor Decker, the Lions left tackle. Last year, Pro Football Focus finally gave some love to Taylor Decker in a way where he was recognized. He cracked the top 10 in PFF grade overall with an 82.0 mark. So he was a top 10 tackle last year playing the left side, protecting Matthew Stafford. He also had the 5th best pass blocking grade among all tackles. Now, if we know something about Taylor Decker, it's the following. He got re-signed. He signed a long-term deal at the end of last year to stay with Detroit. He wants to be here. He's been a solid foundational piece for the last 5 years with the team, starting in 2016. His rookie year, he had an 81.9 PFF grade, and it was 14th among all tackles. Still stands as the 7th best mark PFF has ever had for my rookie. So that's pretty cool. Now it is time for Decker to maybe take the next step and make it to Hawaii or Orlando. I don't know where they play the Pro Bowl. But anyway, maybe this is the year Decker gets his just desserts and makes a Pro Bowl. You can put him at left tackle and leave him there. He is as good as it comes at pass blocking. Not the greatest run blocker in the world. But now, long-term, going to be with the team. One of the leaders, all right, has been an anchor, has been around, heading into year 6. And sometimes with these Pro Bowl votes, it takes you a few years to get the respect. Who's a better tackle in the NFC than Taylor Decker? Well, Jake Matthews is ranked higher by PFF. Andrew Whitworth of the Rams. Mike McGlinchey of the Niners. Right? We're talking NFC. Dwayne Brown, Lane Johnson, Taylor Moton, who's a monster from Lansing, of the Panthers. Tristan Wirfs. Teron Armstead from the Saints, 4th best tackle in the league. Ryan Ramczyk, 3rd best tackle in the league. Trent Williams of the Niners. And David Bakhtiari, of course, who last year had a PFF grade of 91.8. And his run blocking grade was 86.7. David Bakhtiari is as good as a tackle as there is in the league. He's excellent. But that's only really a handful of guys better than Taylor Decker. So maybe this year with the improved ground game, with the improved scheme with Anthony Lynn, Decker will get an opportunity and maybe make a Pro Bowl. I think he's a good football player. Don't think he's outstanding. I wanted to put him ahead of guys like Trey Flowers, Okwara, and Penei Sewell. But I think he's coming. I liked what I saw last year from Decker. He stayed healthy. Remember, the years that he hasn't graded out very well is there were injury concerns. But overall, he's been a rock for this offensive line. Now you put him next to Jonah Jackson and leave Jonah there for all 17 games at left guard. You know Ragnow's going to be there. There's some stability along that offensive line for the first time in a long time. Because left guard, right guard have kind of rotated for years. Remember, it was a few years ago where Graham Glasgow was playing right guard, left guard, center. Decker, Jackson, Ragnow, left to center, I think will be as good as any. And I know the Browns have a really good offensive line, and the Lions cracked the top 10 from PFF going into this season. But I think Decker's got a shot entering year 6. So he is my pick to be the second most likely first-time Pro Bowler for the Lions in 2021. Who will not be there tomorrow when the team opens practice at 8:30 a.m. in Allen Park? We'll tell you about that next. Don't forget rockauto.com with the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models. It's now impossible for your local chain and auto parts store to stock all the parts you need for your car or truck. That's why you go to your computer, you go to your phone, and you go to rockauto.com, and you get it done. You get it done. It's simple. Order whatever you want. The prices are great. Save time and money when using Rock Auto. Why are you going to leave your house to go to some store and walk around? Can I help you? Can I help you? And I'm just looking. You sure? You sure? Annoying. No annoyance at rockauto.com. Why choose to spend 30%, 50%, even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or car dealership? Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. But again, the best part about them, prices are reliably low for everybody. Go to the website, rockauto.com right now. See all the parts available for your car or truck. Write Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need at rockauto.com. All right, folks, with all the excitement that is going on in training camp beginning Wednesday morning at 8:30 sharp there in Allen Park, players hitting the field. It's going to be fantastic just to get back to football. We'll find out about COVID protocols. I don't know if the Lions are going to be like the Steelers. The Steelers had players that were not vaccinated wearing yellow armbands. Don't know if the Lions are doing that, but we'll know all that tomorrow when they hit the field. And Dan Campbell is scheduled to speak tomorrow morning to do his first training camp press conference. Sometimes in the past, the Lions have had their coaches do something like it Tuesday at 6 when the players all report, but apparently they're just going to do it all tomorrow. But the Lions announced today that veteran defensive tackle that they picked up from the Packers, Brian Price, is opting to retire and has been placed on the reserve retired list. So the Lions roster now sits at 88. So they have 2 open spots. We told you about Price a while ago when the Lions signed him. He's been with the Packers twice. Signed with the team in the spring. When John Atkins got released, they signed Price to join the team. But now he has elected to retire and has entered the reserve retired list. The Lions currently have 2 spots on their active roster. They have 88 players with camp set to open tomorrow. So not sure if they will add anybody before then. And they'll likely see tomorrow once everybody tests and does COVID protocols and everything else what they have, but you'd figure that one of those 2 roster spots would be a wide receiver. I've had a lot of Lions fans hit me up. Why don't the Lions sign Golden Tate? He's still there. Yes, he is. I don't think Golden wants to come back here. I think Golden wants to be on a contender. But yes, I would guess that those 2 spots would be taken up by a wide receiver at some point. That would be certainly a guess. But it is just beyond exciting that we're at this point now where the Lions are opening up camp tomorrow. And whether you think this team's going to be good or not this year, there's a different vibe and feeling around Allen Park. You know, there's always some negativity that's going to come out, whether it's the Calvin Johnson stuff or anything else, or people saying Jared Goff stinks or whatever it is. You know, there'll be a lot of attention on Matthew Stafford, which, you know, then that turns into a Detroit bashing session. But let's see what Dan Campbell and his staff and Brad Holmes can build here. Let's see what they can build here. By the way, the Lions have a director of broadcasting position open. Should I apply for that? Can you imagine? I could be in charge of like Dan Miller and those guys. That'd be cool. Maybe I should apply for that for fun. All right, that'll do it for Locked On Lions for Reporting Day, Tuesday, July 27th. Tomorrow, a full recap of what Dan Campbell had to say in the morning, and the first day of training camp will be in the books tomorrow, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.
A big trade shakes up the NBA draft. Here's what our local experts are locked on today. Let's start in college football, where reports are that the SEC will meet on Thursday to discuss adding the Oklahoma Sooners and Texas Longhorns. Today on Locked On Sooners, USA Today's John Williams takes you inside the meetings that Oklahoma had with their current conference, the Big 12. The Green Bay Packers continue to try and persuade Aaron Rodgers to return to the team, reportedly coming to terms on a number of concessions meant to entice the reigning NFL MVP. Our local expert in Green Bay, Peter Bukowski, has that and the latest on talks with star wide receiver Davante Adams. The Memphis Grizzlies have moved up in the NBA draft, acquiring the 10th overall pick from the New Orleans Pelicans. For more details on the deal, listen to our local expert in Memphis, Sean Coleman, on today's Locked On Grizzlies podcast. And for full live coverage of the NBA draft, subscribe to the Locked On NBA YouTube channel and tune in to Locked On NBA Draft 2021 on July 29th. Local experts on the biggest stories. It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This episode is brought to you by Spotify Green Room. Have you ever listened to a podcast like this one and you wanted to bring up your own point or just chat with other people that are listening at the same time? Well, let me tell you about Spotify Green Room. This is the first social audio platform made just for sports fans. The app is free to download, and once you're in, you can talk with us, other fans, athletes, insiders in real time about your favorite sport or team. Download the app, currently available on iOS devices. Create a profile, link your Twitter, join one of the groups for the latest league updates, and then you'll see us there. Spotify Green Room, changing the way we talk sports.